Hey everyone, it's the Sith Justice Warriors podcast coming at you at a typical Sunday evening with your co-host, Princess Lupia.
Hola, happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Hope everyone's out there doing well. There's a lot of crazy news going out there, so hope everyone's just doing their best to stay connected, stay safe, and all that. So, that being said, I think we all need a little bit of a distraction here or there, and hopefully we can go back to the movie theater. So, Princess Olympia, take it away.
Yeah, so just a quick roundup of the things that I've been seeing, either on, websites, Twitter feeds, things like that. The latest being a Twitter comment that, basically said that Kevin Feige really isn't certain about the Black Widow release in May. Um, Basically, the quote was, quote, a year delay you hope would be enough, unquote. And basically it just makes you think about what the future is for the MCU. And I think last week I read that they halted production on the Multiverse of Madness. I think Elizabeth Olsen confirmed that. I think just because, given the whole state of what's going on out there, they're filming in the UK. It's kind of a tricky situation to be in. The other thing is, speaking of Elizabeth Olsen, so MCU Roundup is that this week we get treated to the first installment of um, the MCU's entry into their streaming service, streaming TV, really, streaming TV series or streaming series, if you will. And the first entry is WandaVision. I had my doubts about it. I mean, it looked pretty interesting, the route they were going with the story, but it feels like it's a little deeper. The first reactions to the first 2 to 3 episodes were given to the media, some folks in the media, and without spoiling anything, because I haven't heard any spoilers either, they basically have really positive reviews of what's going on, and that it's a little bit of a deeper story than you think, and the way they basically delivered the story in this sort of vignettes, if you will, of like retro TV. Like if you think of that 70s show or the Brady Bunch, or if you think of like I Love Lucy, or, things from like Bewitched. Like if you think of classic TV, and maybe some of our viewers don't know or remember, have exposure to it, look it up. Classic TV series out there. It's kind of a nod to that. So I'm very interested to see what it all means and what it all, kind of boils down to, because they really said the delivery, the acting, just the production value of it was done very well. And so I wouldn't expect anything less. I'm glad that it got positive reviews, because Disney, as you know, is double downing on Disney Plus. So you really have to launch, and this is part of the phase 4, if you will. So not in the movie theater phase 4, but if you really want to, launch something, you better launch with, bells and whistles and everything like that, and not hold back. So with that, I think is the Falcon Winter Soldier, which looks awesome, and Loki, of course, which is going to be a very interesting. So, and what it all means and how it all connects. So, more to come. We will definitely watch it and give our thoughts on it as soon as it posts up there. But it's a nice distraction, if you will, fan. Um, yeah. Any thoughts on those pieces of news before
I
we get into Star Wars?
Kind of dawned on me that not Winter Soldier, White Widow,
Black Widow.
Black Widow. Not to confuse it with Jamie Tyndall's creation, but well, Black Widow hasn't gone out yet. I think Wonder Woman 84, uh, take away the content of the movie. I think I think the struggle with Wonder Woman 84 was it really, it was, remember the old days where it's like direct to VHS, direct to consumer.
Yep.
that really was
DVD.
yeah, DVD, right? That was like that kind of movie. Whereas I don't know, normally Marvel does a really good job, though I must admit I haven't watched Captain Marvel. I mean, let me pause.
It's
Was
actually
Captain
on TNT right now if you really want to see it. It's kind of funny. Side note, I was watching Wonder Woman on TNT, and right after Wonder Woman was Captain Marvel. I just thought it
Did
was
you know about that TNC? So basically, they marathoned DC movies to premiere their first showing of Captain Marvel, which made no sense.
oh, that's funny. This is the first showing of Cap. That's really funny. I just
No, they
thought,
were celebrating that they got Captain Marvel for TNT, and they're celebrating it by doing a marathon of DC movies.
I
It
just,
made no sense.
I don't get it. But anyway, sorry, that was a side note. I just
Well,
had
actually, let me pause. Right, was if I say WW 84 Wonder Woman 84 was direct to consumer, was Captain Marvel direct to consumer, or was that actually worthy of a movie?
yeah,
Even
I think they could have totally done Captain Marvel as direct to consumer. They could have done like a five show series too. I mean, like it wasn't
you know
earth shattering. I think the
that
one good thing it did, and this is spoilers for those of you who haven't seen it, is introduce the scrolls. But that was probably it. Like it opened up. I think the one good thing it did was it introduced the scrolls to the youth.
I I think here's the question: Would okay? So I'm gonna stop there. Back to Black Widow, though. I wonder that is I it looks like the female born identity with some superheroes in it. I as much as I think it's more worthy based on the trailers of a movie theater release, I think they should just do Disney Plus. I mean, what are the movie theaters going to do? Blackball Disney?
I know, right?
I mean, they acted all tough with Warner Brothers. Oh, this is horrible that they took profits over saving the industry. The industry is like they're below their knee, like they're not even on their knees; they're on all fours. So
Mhm.
they got to chill, right? They'll be lucky that they can even air it. Where so I think that they should roll it out because that's done, right? That's done filming.
Mhm. I
Just
thought.
yeah, just roll that out. Disney Plus.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, it makes sense. Like they did it with Soul, and I haven't watched it yet. They have such great success with Mandalorian. I think there are a lot of subscribers, believe it or not, especially people with families and kids at home that need something to watch.
mhm.
So, just a thought, Disney, if
Yeah.
you're listening out there. But anyway,
Yes.
what were you
Yeah. So they should just let it out. So that's on that one. I think the what was the other one? WandaVision. That was always a quirky one to me. So
yeah.
I think it's good that the reviews are good. I'm always skeptical of reviewers these days. I think they lost whatever trust I had with them when it came to The Last Jedi and how they punched down on the Star Wars fans. That to me lost a lot of credibility and it just rolled over into Rise of Skywalker and Captain Marvel, though everything else was fine. Everything else are
Mhm.
pretty spot on. The so I think for my interest was a little bit less so than Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier looked more like a buddy cop thing. I'm thinking of like superhero chips here,
Mhm. No, seriously, it does. It does look like it.
with some serious moments.
Yeah.
And I like Anthony Mackie's Sam Wilson,
Yep.
and I like Sebastian Stan's Bucky, and I would like Sebastian Stan's Luke Skywalker. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. So it's good. It's good positive news. I guess the question for you, Lumpia, did you actually talk about Kevin Feige talking about Spider-Man 3?
No, I did not. I was gonna go get into that, but why don't you, since you just mentioned it?
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple articles covering the discussion with Kevin Feige, and they asked about Spider-Man 3, and paraphrasing it, he basically says a lot of the rumors are, the fun of it is that there's a lot of rumors that are wildly false, and a lot of rumors that are really, really close to true. I'm not going to confirm which is which because that would take away the fun of it. And here's the question: is my man Toby not going to be there?
Oh my God, they keep saying that Toby is holding out and that he's being a diva and everything like that. But I'm sorry, he should be. You know why? He should be because he made that rule. Like I was watching Spider-Man 1 on Friday. Out of boredom, I was like, you know what, let me rewatch it. And you know what? Um it made me realize how well he fit that. I mean, he was extremely young in that. I couldn't believe how young they were, or like how young they portrayed. Because remember, he was in high school, he was graduating. But man, like even as he came into the powers, and there were like little nuances of that Spider-Man that I just noticed for the first time or just remembered, like the fact that he creates the webs. He doesn't need a machine to do it. Like that was interesting to me. Or even the fact that he actually can climb the walls because he has like little spider hairs that like come out of his skin that help him cling to the wall. So, like a true spider. And they showed that. It's not like because he's sticky. It's like he really has little hairs coming out of his skin that help him cling to the wall like a spider. So, anyway, it was just random, but I hope that I really, really am hoping that Toby shows up. I hope that they figure out, they being Sony or whoever it is that's controlling this, figures out what needs to happen to make this happen, because it would be a miss to do this Spider-Man and not have Toby. You would kill a lot of people's hopes. And like what else do we need? We need a distraction. This has got to be it.
Yeah, I wonder if the false rumor is the 20 million enemies of Spider-Man, that in typical Spider-Man fashion, the third movie is 10 people against one Spider-Man. But
Which is typical, right? I mean, they, like I said, we were talking before this, and I know I mentioned like the internet is trying to bring Rhino back, and I'm just laughing because I'm like, I mean, he was just on there for like what, a couple minutes? Like it wasn't even like, that's why I was just like, I don't know. Do we really need Rhino? I guess. I don't know. So yeah, I just thought that was quite interesting to me.
yeah,
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, more to come for the MCU from a DC perspective. I know we're waiting for. I mean, I honestly haven't heard about the Batman at all. I know that there has been rumors of swirling on the internet that Pattinson and the director are not getting along. But then again, I heard that he had COVID, so that halted production. I don't know. I've heard back and forth of so many things. They released that pretty interesting trailer, and then that was it. So I don't know what's happening there. And from a DC perspective, we know James Gunn is working on Suicide Squad, and there's so much coming out of Suicide Squad that it's not even funny. We know that Black Adam is coming. We know that what else is there from a DC perspective? They're working on Flashpoint or Flash, and then that's supposed to bring in their own multiverse of Batmans. So like not really multiverse. Well, kind of, right? You'll have the Michael Keaton. He was confirmed, I think. I don't think you'll have the George Clooney Batman or the Val Kilmer. I don't know. Is Val Kilmer confirmed?
no, I think actually they're saying the Michael Keaton one is actually canon. Like
Oh.
they'll have Ben Affleck, and then they'll just kick it to the curb for Michael Keaton. It's quite weird, to be honest, but
That
I
is.
don't know. Whatever they built, kind of shaky compared to the MCU, but they had something built. They just really threw it away, but I don't know if it's mismanagement, which, what's his name? Ray Fisher kind of alluded to, kind of, even though he
Yeah.
kind of burned the building on his way out.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really weird that they fumbled that one.
Yeah, and then like not just that, like yeah, I agree. That whole situation, and I won't. It's a little bit too much. But yeah, that Ray Wilson, that was interesting with that. And then even I mean, the big Zack Snyder cut that's coming out in March. I mean, I don't know. I just like I said, like we talked about, maybe the whole goal of it was to never create a universe, and that's fine. But I feel like everyone assumed they were. But hey, it doesn't have to go that way. It really doesn't. So,
Mm.
that I am looking forward to The Witcher. They did halt production because Henry Cavill is well, they have production of scenes without him, but he got injured. But I am looking forward to that. If you haven't seen it on Netflix, you should. What else is coming? That's non DC, but it was just something on the top of my head. And then from a movie perspective, to just round it up, I know Warner Brothers is still, negotiating with a lot of the filmmakers of their movies, but especially around the Dune release, because they at the end of last year they made that comment that all their films are coming out on HBO Max, similar to Wonder Woman, available for the first few weeks, and then as well as on out in the movie theater. So that impacts Dune. That impacts what was the other movie that was coming out? I can't remember. But it impacts quite a few of their slated releases for Warner Brothers. So, I did read that they were going to pay the filmmakers, so they should just stop their griping about it. I know that they were really upset about it, and rightfully so. But if you can't watch it in a theater, there's no reason to hold it up. I don't know. But then again, there's a lot that's been held up because of a lot of things. So we'll see. I think I wanted to close it out with Star Wars stuff because we spent last week talking about the Wonder Woman film, I think, and our thoughts and reactions, and we haven't gotten into the nitty gritty of Star Wars. The Mandalorian ended with a bang, with and spoilers, guys, if you didn't see it, the big Luke Skywalker reveal, which, to be honest, the deep fake version looks a lot better. But hey, they did what they could with the budget, so I'm not going to complain. Um, we didn't really delve into it too much. I mean, we did, but not too much. But we also saw a trailer and an announcement a couple weeks ago for the Star Wars High Republic. And this came off the news of like the announcement of the Acolyte and all this other Star Wars Disney Plus specific, TV or whatever series. I call it TV, but shows that are specific to Disney Plus coming out. Apparently, this is causing some sort of, if you will, civil unrest between the people in Lucasfilm, right?
Yeah,
Um,
and to be clear, well, this is a rumor, but honestly, it doesn't sound so far off from the truth.
yes. So
Yeah.
yeah, Van, what is the rumor we're hearing, Van?
Yeah, I mean it's been circulating amongst the what I've seen it with the fandom menace, so like Doomcock and I think Ethan also discussed that as well, and I think it's the fact that it's all about Luke. So I don't know if you noticed, but there's been some people pointing out about how in Lucasfilms when they like showed some of like their offices and stuff like that, it's kind of weird. They have pictures of Luke in return, right? And
Yep.
then there's a big X on his face. And it's just these little jabs at Luke. And it all gets culminated with our boy Ryan Johnson and his version of Luke Skywalker,
Oh
Luke
boy,
Cage
he will
Skywalker.
not let it go.
Yeah, and so basically Kathleen Kennedy, the rumor is that her camp, her side of the fence, they hate Luke because one, he's a white male. Two, honestly, that whole Skywalker line, they There's one thing I could try to give them is that they wanted to expand the Star Wars universe, and so it was always tethered to the Skywalkers. You can have all the legend books, but no matter what, there's a tethering anchor to the Skywalkers. And so this systematic deconstruction of the three, right? The Han, Luke, Leia,
Mm-hmm.
it was complete, and you never got to see all three of them once, and in one get go around, right?
Exactly.
And you never will because Carrie Fisher's passed away.
Yeah. And
And
Harrison Ford refuses. And
Yeah.
I think Mark Hamill, I don't know how he got conned into Mandalorian, but yeah.
well, so then you had the Mandalorian, which is the Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau crowd, which obviously the success of Mandalorian. I'm gonna be honest. I don't have any sources. It's me listening to other people. Is that Kathleen Kennedy's kind of jelly, and to be fair, rightfully so. It's funny because when you see it's produced by, it'll say Jon Favreau and Kathleen Kennedy, but Kathleen Kennedy has nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
I mean, there was always rumors about Kathleen Kennedy wanting to put her stamp on it by making Boba Fett a woman, and that a woman found Boba Fett's armor. Thankfully, that didn't happen. Now, I think the Book of Boba Fett, you may find what's that lady? What's Ming-Na's character's name?
Oh gosh, a Fennec.
Yeah. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if she took the Boba Fett armor, but at least he dies. Like, just don't die just die in a blaze of glory.
Oh gosh,
that's all I ask.
Yeah,
that's all I ask. Like, if you're gonna die a warrior's death, that's all I wanted Luke to die. I wanted him to die in a warrior's death.
Yes.
And so, yeah, Jon Favreau has kept this baby. Dave Filoni made sure that only he touched Ahsoka. That's actually something that's been not discussed as much. Is that the rumor was that if Ahsoka were to ever be in a live action, he had to be the one. Because I think that's his creation, right? Because he's Clone Wars.
Yep.
That's his creation, and I had no problem with her character and all that stuff. So fine. I think that she plays her well. I mean, I don't really have an issue anyway. But yeah, it's the idea that Luke Skywalker is the Jedi we all waited 20, 30 years for.
Yep.
And there's rumors that they want to bring let me take it back. It's the reaction, the fan reaction you saw on the internet, people crying. Like Star Wars Theory, we talked about it. Star Wars Theory getting killed for crying. Yeah. And I'm not a person about it as well, but I would cry. Like if
I cried when Luke, I said when he showed up, I cried.
I would have cried if I wasn't so jaded about the whole Star Wars fan theory, the Star Wars fandom, not fandom, sorry, the sequel trilogy, correction. And yeah, they were jealous of it, and they didn't like the fact that people hyped up the Luke Skywalker stuff and the Sebastian Stan stuff and Mark Hamill and keeping it all a secret, and no one talked about High Republic. But have you seen the High Republic trailer?
I did, and I was a little disappointed.
I was giggling. I was like, of course they're putting this person front and center. Of course this person is it was just like, you could tell the difference between Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni's Star Wars and Kathleen Kennedy's vision of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And so people are like, well, it's glad that Kathleen Kennedy is in the High Republic. It's decades. It's not even, it's like hundreds of years before. And, they could at least, their only tie is that they could have Yoda, because Yoda lived for 900 years, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was a little disappointing because it's really like, I don't know. It really was. Do you think this was what the two guys from Game of Thrones were supposed to direct?
Yes, but I think they gave it to
what is oh my God, I remember
Leslie. Yeah. Leslie, I know where the skeletons and bodies are buried. I will just leave it at that.
The interesting thing too is that like they're really like I don't know, they really pushed print like because most of it is books, right?
Yeah,
Um
or
books
comic books.
or comic books. So like and it's 200 years before the Phantom Menace and like you said, like yeah, Yoda at least they have that because Yoda could live like as long as he did. Um but yeah, I mean, yeah, I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I think Leslie Headland is doing the Acolyte, which is in
Oh,
the
the
High Republic
Acolyte. Okay,
era.
which is part of this era.
Right. So she's
Um,
got that Disney Plus series. I don't know how long that is, but the whole idea of creating a mythos of Star Wars without the Skywalkers, but like it's almost like we want to erase. They still want to erase legends. The whole.
well, the interesting thing is this, and I'm reading it from Screen Rant. So the name of the Jedi Knight is I'm gonna butcher it, Vernestra Rowe, and she's a Myralian Jedi Knight.
Oh, the Karen. So she's the blonde woman that's
Yes,
Karen looking.
who successfully completed the Jedi trials at age 15.
Oh, of
This
course.
accomplishment is all the more impressive given it's unlikely that she was chosen as a Padawan until she was nearing her teenage years. Meaning she
Oh.
really just needed
Oh.
a little bit of training.
Oh, wait. Hold up. She was too old. Sounds like who?
Well, what
Anakin. Anakin was too old.
well, no, what's interesting here is that she beat Anakin because Anakin was thought to be one of the youngest, right?
No, but no,
He was
no.
Jedi.
Anakin was not 15. He was younger than that.
No,
But
but
even then you're
wasn't
too
that
old.
oh yeah, that's true.
Even, like Anakin was like a what, 10-year-old?
No, but Anakin wasn't the youngest Jedi Knight, I guess, if you will, because I think Star Wars has revealed Anakin Skywalker was not the only young prodigy who became a
Oh.
Jedi Knight. So that's what
Oh.
it is.
Oh,
He's not
okay.
the only prodigy.
Oh, okay. Of course. Of course. Yes.
So
Go
yeah,
on.
as we
Continue.
kind of peel the onion back, I mean, she even transformed her lightsaber into a light whip.
Oh, okay.
Right? Um, what else does the Screen Rant article
Can
have?
can she can she move black holes with her force powers? I'm sure she can.
I don't know. I want to know if they mention any midichlorians here. I guess it's too soon.
Well, midichlorians, I know they backed away from that, but that's still canon.
But you know that they mentioned it in The Mandalorian, or like they alluded to midichlorians because that's why they took his blood sample. Unless they're like, yes, they are cloning something. I mean, we saw the little vats of stuff of some bodies in The Mandalorian, but
Maybe they
like
made Snoke with it.
like they had to use the midichlorians from Grogu. I mean, there's like you said, it is canon. So they may not mention it because people will be like, "What the hell is midichlorians?" But because if you ever talk to anybody that like is probably falls into the millennial sort of age group, like you'll find that they think those three movies are stupid. And at the time, I will say we did like when I first watched episode 1, 2, and 3, they weren't my favorite. But coming to where we are now and what George Lucas was trying to do at the time was expand his universe and introduce different things and different, I guess, methods of bringing his story to life, like like different digital methods, different sort of technologies. Um, I appreciated it a lot more. But if you ever watch some of the millennial YouTubers out there that have watched it for the first time, they're all like, "Stop the pain." And I'm like, I get it. There's some emo moments. There's like, it's like a soap opera. But this was his way of telling, how he became Darth Vader, like how the world was before Star Wars. Like, I can appreciate that because that was him funding it on his own, trying to figure it out. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll, I guess, learn more about Venestra in the later as soon as other things pop up, but it's already in the formula of Kathleen. What's sad is that I know like there were rumors that they weren't happy about Luke being in the Mandalorian, but I feel like they had to sign off on it anyway. And I wonder if it was just too late to like not do it.
What
Or
if it was Bob? No, Bob Iger said the buck stopped with him with Star Wars, right?
yeah.
He's still like this pseudo head. It's not like Chapek's the CEO, but it's this weird thing where he's still there.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. It's like I said, we'll find out more. At the end of the day, yeah, you got to do what. And I think they know that they did wrong with like. I mean, there have been rumors for a while now that they're trying to rewrite what the mess that they created with The Last Jedi. They're trying to
Or
undo
who?
it.
Now who? See,
That I don't know. Not Kathleen. Why
not
would
Kathleen's people.
it's like Disney, I would say. Disney Lucas. Not her, but maybe others in there. Because they know how upsetting it was for a lot of the fans. And I was actually, believe it or not, tonight is a night of many, many movies. Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel, you name it, all the movies are on tonight. And one of them, well, you name it, all the movies are on tonight. And one of them was The Force Awakens. And I agree with with Sirius. When I first watched it, I enjoyed it. And then they butchered the rest of it. And that's what happened. Like I enjoyed it and I was like, "Oh, let me see where it goes." And if they only stuck to something of a story that made sense to me, that made sense in this realm and that wasn't so far-fetched, like and that they really, like you said, did justice to Luke Skywalker, to Carrie Fisher's character, Leia, and to Han Solo, if they did justice to that, the memory of that, then I would have been okay. Like, but they totally, with the changing of the guard, with the last minute edits and everything, like they just did it such a disservice in the next two that followed. But I thought, when I remembered watching Force Awakens, I actually liked it. I saw it several times with different friends, and I said to myself, I just want to see where it goes. But yeah. So, anyway.
Well, yeah, I think I believe that they should have, if they were going to kill them all, should have killed them all then.
Yes.
But they had this belief that we would buy, which we would buy to a degree, that Leia was a Jedi Master, and she would teach Rey everything she needed. Because, as Luke Skywalker says, talent without training, what did he say? Talent without training can only mean so much, something like that. But then, Rey had no training, or she had training from Leia. That it was weird. It was weird. It was just weird. She
It
actually
was
didn't
a
need
little
training
forced,
from
I guess,
Leia.
if you will. It was a little forced, but I could believe that Leia has mastery over the Force, but not like as much as Luke would have to move black holes. But it's
Well, if
just
she cut her training according to the sequel trilogy, how can she, I don't know, get blasted into space and then revitalize herself and fly away and back into the ship in the middle of
exactly,
space like Mary Poppins?
exactly.
God, we're still
So
talking about this stuff.
I know we are, and so it's like I said. I think that if they had just done a service to the reality of what we knew as Leia and Luke and Han, and then I think we would have been fine. I don't know why. I even think Snoke was a wasted character. Like we really could have done away with the Emperor and just dealt with Snoke for the next three movies. But that's what they wanted. And that's how they chose it. Whatever. I don't know. I know we can go on and on about it, but at the end of the day, the out in my mind, and we talked about it before, could potentially be Ahsoka Tano, changing and rewriting history. So
She's the only one who can. So
exactly,
maybe that's maybe what that series is about.
that's the backup plan.
I
So
don't know. As long as Kathleen Kennedy's there, that's what
let's
it
hope
is.
Mark Hamill's on board with something.
One last thing. I for I changing subjects a bit here because we were talking about HBO Max. This is actually a question for you, away from Star Wars, away from superheroes. Sex in the City is coming back.
Oh my god, is it? Are they going to be like really old?
Oh God, it says revival now. Oh my God, I believe they would have them as they are right now.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, or is it going to be a reboot?
Let me look at it.
Because
Sex in the City.
I mean, I can. Okay, so it's officially coming back. I get it, but like, man, they're old now, and I'm not saying they look horrible.
and will star Sarah Jessica Parker, Cynthia Nixon, Kristen Davis, and but Kim Cattrall.
I heard Kim Cattrall did not get along with them, so I don't know.
I believe it.
Like they had some feuds going on apparently, but
I have to ask you because this was a defining movie for your generation.
I love Sex in the City, but I think it's done. Like I think the time has passed. If it is, I hope the reboot's only like 5 episodes. Do you know what I'm saying?
Jesus Christ. It follows them in their 50s.
Oh God! What did she get it? See,
she got a divorce from Mr. Big.
No, she did not.
No, I don't know, but I'm just letting you know.
I was literally about to say that. I mean, I wanted the happily ever after to end, and like that's it. Like I didn't actually need the second movie where she had to go kiss John Corbin, like, and then realize that she really loves Mr. Big. Like I didn't need that. Like,
oh, there's a lot of things. It's the Russell Wilson stuff, man.
By the way, Russell Wilson lost, so
Ciara.
It's stuff. But yeah, I think they should leave that where it is. I mean, they are on this reboot, like they're rebooting Friends, which, as you all know, everyone can watch. They're rebooting. See, but you know what makes more sense to me to reboot? Gossip Girl. They are rebooting Gossip Girl. They're introducing a lot more representation in there, and that's fine. They are rebooting that because it makes sense to reboot Gossip Girl. You can because it took place in high school or college or whatever.
But you can go with Sex in the City. Just don't go with them at 50.
That's what I was saying. I mean, some of the scenes in Sex in the City, you're like, oh my God, these women. Like, I'm not saying they are horrible looking. I'm just saying it's like
they're 50.
They're 50. Like
they're 50.
I think I'm okay to move past it and keep my memory where it was back in the day when I used to watch it all the time religiously. So I think, in my opinion, and I was the biggest fan, I am the biggest fan of the old series, just leave it be. Like, for the fashion, sure, but you could do that with Gossip Girl.
But like, actually, that's what it was about, right? It was like very about
fashion. Yeah, exactly. She wrote a column. It was like the life everyone wanted, every girl or, female or whatever, like everyone who identified as a woman, like wanted to go to New York and be like, make something of themselves and live that life. And that's exactly what it represented for me when I was growing up, and I wanted that. And so, like, don't go and ruin it for me by showing me them at 50. Like, I don't want to see that they got a divorce. I don't want to see that their kids are teenagers. I don't want to see. Well, Miranda had a kid and Charlotte adopted a baby, and then she ended up having a baby.
With the ball, okay.
No, with Harry. She ended up
I just want to put on the record with the podcast. I don't like to watch this show, but every time Lumpia in the younger years put it on, this was the men's red pill. Like if you like before the red pill, the men's walking away, the movement that men are experiencing today. if they watch this, they would just say that this is why they are where they are. And it
Exactly.
was like watching something and you're like, are women like this? And then Lupia would say, no, it's just a glamorous lifestyle.
It is the glamorous
But the
lifestyle.
reality is the scary
Nobody
reflection of
lives
where
like
we
that.
are
I
today.
know. Nobody lives like that. But yeah, so anyway,
No, they try to live like that today, and that's kind of why we are where we are.
I mean, Darren Star has Emily in Paris, and that's like the new one, the new version of it. So why can't we just leave it like that? Like, why can't we just have
God,
the
50.
components, but in a different show?
But
Like,
like if they're 50, the women like the women that grew up with this, that demographic, I
it's also
think they've moved on with
also
life.
older. They also are in a different part of their life.
No, but that's okay. This is gonna be interesting because in today's world of a specific type of person must play a specific type of character, right? Where
Mhm.
you like you couldn't have a man act as a woman.
Yeah.
Like Scarlett Johansson, she was removed from her role as a transgender female, right? Was that what it was?
Yes, I think
Yeah,
so.
because she's a cis
Cisgender.
she's cis that's the right word, cisgendered female, not a transgender female, so she got booted off of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm interested because was it Cynthia Nixon? I remember didn't she get elected in New York or something like
I
that?
don't know. I thought she ran or something, but
And
yeah, she is. Maybe that's what it is. She is married to I think she's a lesbian.
yeah, she came out.
Um,
So the interesting thing is, like, she's playing a heterosexual woman.
yeah.
I mean, it could be that they'll change the character they divorce because that
That's
was
what I
a weird
said.
period.
No, but I wanted to just leave it in that time capsule of my memory as to how it ended, and that's what I remember. Like I didn't need, like I really don't need to know what happened to them after. Like I never wanted to after the second movie.
Because I guarantee you, Sarah Jessica Parker left Mr. Big,
I bet
or Mr.
you
Big
do.
cheated, or Mr. Big cheated again.
Yeah,
Because
I think she left him. Like, but
you think
after
she
all
left
the
him?
back and forth, like, come on, like, don't. I don't know that
And
I'll.
then why she's gonna chase Mr. Big again.
Oh my
But this
god.
time Mr. Big is like, oh, I can get a 25-year-old.
Or maybe Sam. But see, Samantha was every which way. So, like, it's more believable for her. Like like her character evolved and she went every which way, so it didn't matter. But like for the
Samantha's interesting because she actually had a guy willing to
mm-hmm,
commit to her
yep,
and he was with her during her
cancer, yeah.
cancer. God, it's pathetic. Any guy who's listening to me is gonna be like, you lost whatever credibility
But
you had.
it's okay. It's because I told you the story. But either way, like,
No,
look,
it was like a train wreck. I couldn't stop watching whenever you put it on the TV. It was just
buddy.
I'm like, what are these women doing?
Yeah, this was like insight into their minds, but then it's like, no, it's not reality.
No, it is reality. That's what as I've grown older,
Well, yeah,
Sex in the City is the cause of a lot of people's problems in societies right now. But go ahead.
but no, anyway, like I said, on the subject of reboots, because I don't want to go on in a diatribe about it. We can if they do launch it and I watch it, but I will take it back to the subject of reboots. We're on a reboot frenzy. It's kind of interesting because even from a fashion perspective, fashion is heading back to the 90s. 90s is big now, like in fashion. Patchwork pants, like you name it, 90s fashion is back. So now we're bringing back all the nostalgic. It's just funny, but I don't think we need to go there. Maybe a Friends reunion episode, but I don't need to know what happened. Like there are some shows that I really would like to know what happened at the end, but some of them are like I just want to leave where they left off. Like I don't need to know. And those are the things, but they did a reboot of Saved by the Bell. Okay. So, and Jessie's a teacher, and like we all remember her from she did like a movie where she was like a stripper. Mario Lopez, oh no, is Mario or Zach is in it. Whatever. I didn't watch it, but it's on Peacock. So, like I said, they're in a reboot frenzy. I don't know if it's good or bad. I think it's good if it really add something to where it left off. Like if it left off on a cliffhanger, it would be nice to know. I mean, I know you love this show. Dexter is coming back.
Yeah, I know. I think that was first off they butchered the last season.
And that's what Michael C. Hall, or I think his name is Michael C. Hall. He's saying they're trying to do right by that. I
Yeah,
never
but
watched it,
yeah,
but
I mean it's.
do they need a reboot? Do they need a Dexter? Do they need
I
it?
think like it should have ended around the time when he married what's her name his wife.
Oh, his wife or sister or whatever. Yeah, his
No, not the
wife.
sister. The half like the because she was adopted, but
Oh,
I think he could have just ended it there and just made it ambiguous. Like he claims he stopped it. Like there's some things you got to stop. Just let it be in but you don't have to kill it, but just let it die. Let it live on in your memory. Hell, if you were gonna make a new Star Wars without the Skywalkers, just not have any Skywalker at all. Like
yeah, exactly. Just let that portion of it stay and keep it. I don't know, protect it because that's what made it. Like, so you get it when I talk about Dexter, like, because you watched it religiously too. Like, you wouldn't want to go, and I'm like, you kind of want to just leave it the way you left it. Even, I guess that's why they never redid Firefly. They just want to leave it where they left it.
Oh, you know what was one that really jumped the shark at the last season was Burn Notice.
Oh my God, that was a great show.
It was wonderful, but then at the season they were trying to make it wrapped up, but like when his brother got shot with a 50 cal sniper rifle and everybody was dying. It was just like I get it. You're trying to like have all your characters go, but I think it probably around 2 seasons before the last, it really you could have ended it, and that was a wonderful show. Like the way they kind of explained all the tricks of the trade, the tricks of the trade, because you never know if it really is real. I'm sure the government would be like, dude, don't do.
No, that was another great show. Like I would love those. Like I mean, what about Chuck? Is that a show that needs to be? That needs
no.
to be like
God, no. Like I don't even know if I've even finished it because I think I was on season 2, season 3, but
I know they're rebooting Battlestar Galactica, so I guess I got to get ready. So, like I said, like I'm still trying to finish the rest of it. Like I slowly am because I love it. I just don't want it to end. But then, like I'm like, oh, they're rebooting it. What the hell? Like I don't know. I always will think of Edward James Olmos and Katie Sackhoff, and like I will always think of them as Battlestar Galactica. I know that there was one before it, but like and Trisha Helfer, like I don't need.
She disappeared. Trisha Helfer.
No, she was on Lucifer for a long time, and I really enjoy that show. And then her character, unfortunately, yeah. So, but hopefully, I see her again. I don't know. On that show, nobody ever really dies, but yeah. So, like I said, there are shows that I feel like warrant it. Like if you ended in a way that you don't need to pick up where you left off, I don't think you need to and like you said, I think with Sex and the City, I don't need to see what their sex lives are at 50.
I don't think a lot of guys even want to see Sarah Jessica Parker.
Like I don't need to see their sex lives at 50, and I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I'm not saying it to disempower women. I'm saying it that in the sense that I want to leave their life where I left them at the first movie, actually. Like, I don't need, I just needed to know that she ended up with Big, that that Miranda was happy with Steve and they have a baby, that, what's her name? She had a baby and she has the adopted baby, and that Kim Cattrall's character is happy with herself. Like, that's all I needed. Like, I don't need to know what they're doing right now. I really don't.
Can I just file retroactively that I went through torture and abuse?
You did. Like, I know. I made you sit there. Like, I'm like,
But I kind of found it, like, I'm not gonna lie, it was amusing to see women be that way. But
yeah.
at the same time, I don't know why the F I watched it. But then looking back, it validates a lot of things that a lot of folks today are saying.
No, it really was, you know what it was? It was like reading an article in each episode was like reading an article about like love in the modern times or whatever, from a woman's point of view or whatever, or
It's definitely a
single
woman
person's point of
show.
view. So,
But
yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna go into to what I think about that series in a sense that there was a big generational impact for a lot of women.
No, there really was. Like I am speaking for myself and for probably a lot of people who watched it. And you know what? Like I don't know that I need to know. Like that's all. I'm just saying.
I get it. You know, they say 50 is the new 40. I just don't want to be I'm staying away from that if you watch that, but I don't want to know
But
what
like I said,
feels
that's what I
like
said. Like the OC, I don't need to know what happened to them. They probably all I don't even know if they exist anymore. Like the OC used to be a popular show. 90210 they did reboot and it was popular. And then, like we lost Luke Perry. But like I said, like there are shows that it makes sense and then there are shows that you can just leave where you left it. That's one of them. So,
and
anyway.
that being said, I really went over time. Stupid Sex in the City. Anyway, with that said, hope you liked the content. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications as we drop new content. I did earlier last week promise something. I will have to work on it given that the events that have occurred have been really distracting. But I am going to just be outright. I finally got the Icarus and the Sun comic book that I forgot I backed 3-4 years ago.
Oh, nice. You
It's
gotta let me know how that
different
is.
from what I normally read. It's no superheroes. It's yeah, I have a lot of emotions with it, and I don't know if it's good. Meaning, yeah, but I'll leave it for a review when I finally get to it, hopefully this week. That being said, we are on Twitter at Just the Sith. So please drop us a line. Let us know your thoughts as we continue on to 2021, because just when you thought you'd leave 2020 behind, it just gets crazy and more fun and exciting. But hey, may we live in exciting times. That
Exactly.
being said, see you on the Sith side.
See ya.